All right. Well, welcome back to the foodies, to the smokies, the anything in between. This is the BDSM podcast, and I am Professor Porkloin. So I'm here with my lovely co-host,
The Meat Viking.
and today we're gonna continue our journey around the United States. So we have decided to go to California, man. I feel like there's a song that you can put into that at some point. Just be like, I'm going back. Although we probably can't afford any of those royalties. So
No, dude. Actually, in fact, there goes my whole paycheck just from the three words.
maybe there could be like some type of free music that you can find that would have something with California in it.
It's
You
just
know,
the
like a
first four chords to Hotel California.
yeah, like a MIDI, yeah, like the MIDI version of it. You know, the
Right.
old school stuff. So see if you can play with that, man. See if there's anything with maybe you can just flash California up on the screen.
All subliminal like.
Yeah. But so yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about California today, and I think we might have to split some stuff up because California is such a big state, you know, and I think that because there's so many influences that we'll try to talk about a lot of things this time, but I think we're gonna have to have some extra time to go for a part two.
Yeah.
But before we continue on with everything, what's the safe word for today, man?
So the professor and I are both fans of a little known show called Letterkenny, and there's an episode where they make fun of L.A. because they say that people from L.A. always pronounce it like L.A. So we decided that today's safe word is L.A.
And you gotta say LA. Gotta give it that
L.A.
little extra Y to it.
Yeah, there's no Y when it's spelled either, so I don't understand where that came from. Granted, like I could probably pass the third grade spelling bee fairly decently, but
I gotta find out where my one of my favorite comedians is. Maybe I'll throw that in there. But he does a whole spelling bee bit, and it's funny because he definitely goes off about not spelling it correctly. And he's like, "I knew there's two T's."
nice.
But so what you drinking, man? What's in the cup for today?
So, you ever used to drinking alcohol so much that eventually you and that alcohol had to have a divorce, and then you find it, and then you kind of go back to it like an old lover?
No, but I mean, there's been times where I've had to take some breaks. Yeah.
Well, I got some gentleman's Jack Daniels today.
Oh, look at you, man. You're
Yeah,
going back to the Jack.
yeah.
What
Um,
made you
I
want to get that?
I already like I opened the bottle and I sniffed it because like when you open the bottle, you get that initial aroma, and I was like, oh my god, I've fought way too many people drinking this.
Oh gosh.
It was like a sensory flashback of every bad decision I've made in the last like 15 years of my life.
Oh, that's hilarious, man.
Yep. So if because I haven't tried to like take a swig of it yet because I've just been kind of sitting here letting it contemplate my existence. I have from Great Lakes Brewery the Edmund Fitzgerald Porter.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
I do enjoy that one.
hey man, when you made it on the top 10 porters in the world, you can't really go wrong with this.
I find it funny that you have that kind of in the background with your gentleman Jack. I'm just waiting for the time to you pick it up and put it to your lips and just go.
Yeah.
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 Well, I found something that I thought was kind of cool, and it kind of goes along with California. It's not made there or anything, but it's called Coco Añejo. So it's a coconut milk stout.
Ooh.
So I'm not a big fan of coconut, but this is actually pretty good to be honest with you.
Ooh.
So yeah, Imperial Coconut Stout, and it's about 9%. It comes out of Fort Worth.
Those of you curious of what today's cigar is, let's pull up the old information here. This is the Grey Wolf by Grey Cliff, Churchill Cameroon cigar. Cameroon wrapper, Churchill shape, 50 ring gauge, made from the Dominican Republic, handmade, no flavor. It's not even really a sweet cigar. It's just a really good Honduran cigar. Nice
Right.
earthy, nice medium body feel to it. Just a good smoke.
All right. Does it have a nice little smell to it? How's the?
I wouldn't classify this as an aromatic cigar like I would say an acid from Drew Estate, but I also
Okay.
would put this up there as one of the better smelling normal cigars. If that makes any sense?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A couple weeks ago, I know that I had one of those acid blondies, which wasn't bad. I think I even mentioned that in one of our previous episodes. So
My my one buddy who I served time with in hell, um, as my day job, got on the acid Cuba Cubas from him and I talking about cigars at work. And so he was texting me today going, yeah, this is one that's going to be keeping in my humidor for a while. And I was like,
nice.
yeah, yeah.
Well, cool, man. So we got everything done. Let's jump right into it. So I think one of the first ones that I want to talk about is the Cobb salad. Have you ever had a Cobb salad before?
I believe so. Yeah. It's just, and like, it's like a Caesar salad, but they use fish, right?
No, no. Cobb salad has the hard-boiled egg and the ham and the cheese that's wrapped up with it.
Nah, dude, we used to, up where I'm from, that's just a chef's salad, not a Cobb salad.
Uh, Typically, the Cobb would have um, some of those in there, though. It would have lettuce, or you'd use variety types of lettuce. Um, but yeah, we'd always call it as a Cobb salad.
Oh, that's
So
crazy because we're only a couple of states away back in that kind of day.
yeah, you'd have avocado, you'd have hard-boiled eggs, you'd have cheese, um, you'd have ham, or you could do bacon.
You know,
A lot of times it would be bacon, tomato, and then I've seen ones where they've actually taken the ham and the cheese and they rolled it up and then put that on, or they cut it up a couple times. But yeah, that's pretty much what I always remembered it as. I've heard it as a chef salad before too, but I'm pretty sure that the Cobb salad, at least California wise, is the main one. So
yeah.
you
I
have your
also
little.
grew up in a town of people who can't really speak good, so Cobb might have been too fancy for us.
That's probably true. Um, but the interesting that I think I heard about this one though is that so basically this restaurant owner Robert Cobb, okay, it kind of varied on whether the salad was invented by him or if it was invented by one of his chefs. But the legend has it is that he didn't eat anything until near midnight, so he basically had all this shit left over, and he mixed all of the leftovers that he found in his kitchen, and he just added some bacon to it. Which I mean, you add bacon to just about anything, is
Mm-hmm.
going to taste way better. I mean, you can even add bacon to bacon, and you still get such
Bacon.
a great dish. And he tossed it in with some French dressing. Now, some of the other things, it can come with like a rosemary vinaigrette, or it can come with other vinaigrettes. How'd that taste, man? Did you get that PTSD flashback?
Yeah. Definitely going to that one night where we had a bonfire at your place, and then I had the great idea to like challenge you to a fist fight.
No, that wasn't me. That was the other guy. That was Steven. Remember him?
No, you and I got in a fight before too, though.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
But yeah, I do
um,
remember the other one too.
yeah. So basically, he just threw everything together in his kitchen and just threw some bacon on it, added some French dressing. It was like, hey, I'm gonna call this the salad that I just made. So California basically has kind of made it their home. because this guy was from California. So a Cobb salad is essentially your basic one, dumpster fire of a salad. Just throw everything in there, and there you go. That's basically what it is.
I don't know why I was thinking fish salad.
I don't know why either.
I don't even know if they make a fish salad.
Oh, I'm sure there. I mean, the restaurant I used to work at would do a crab cake salad.
Maybe like a mahi mahi.
Yeah, you can do mahi mahi or ahi tuna.
Yeah.
So, which I would probably think that California would have a lot of those anyway. I would think that they would probably have some tuna salads just because of where they're at. I mean, you're right on the ocean, right? You would think
Yeah.
probably Southern California and maybe even Northern, but probably SoCal would be a little bit more with the fish because I'm sure they probably got fish tacos. I'm sure they probably have other things like oysters and whatnot. So I don't know. Have you been to California before?
No.
I've been there a couple times. I was in San Diego a couple years back and San Francisco a couple years before that. And San Francisco is pretty cool. It's got that old timey feel because you can ride those rail cars.
Oh yeah.
They're like open to okay, hop on. It's only like $1.25, and you can still hear the bring bring bring. Like you're in the middle of the road and got to get your ass out of the way of the cars.
I don't know why, but like I think of like old Western movies as taking part in like California. And then like the old rail car movies, I don't know why, but I think of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh man, Jessica Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
She was probably a childhood uh, imagination.
Yeah.
Diego is super fun too because it's real close to Mexico. So I know that they have a huge Mexican influence. Um, there's a lot of breweries that are around there, and I thoroughly enjoyed San Diego. To be honest with you, I would totally go back in a heartbeat.
Every person I know who's been to San Diego has nothing nice to say about it except for you.
Really, I thought it was a cool city.
No, everybody I've heard go to it is like there's shit everywhere.
Yeah, but I grew up close to New York City, so I mean, and Philly, which both are shitholes when it comes to the cities. I mean, they're dirty as hell.
I guess that's fair.
So I probably didn't really see it. I
Yeah.
probably was just like, oh, whatever. It's just a normal city.
Yeah.
But I guess if you've never been around that type of stuff before, then sure,
Yeah.
you know. Because for me, the one time I went to Washington D.C. and I thought that that was probably the cleanest ones I've ever been to. There was a lot of hobos, but still, there was definitely a lot cleaner than Philly and or New York.
It's true.
So yeah, that's probably why.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, like the area I grew up around consisted of 3 or 4 cities to the county and maybe had 16,000 people.
Yeah, you got
So, yeah.
you getting close to country. You ain't there because when I think country, I think of like 200 people per town. But
We had towns with less than that, actually. We had towns that were villages.
yeah,
Like one stoplight and you went past the town.
so um, one of the other foods that I saw too was an avocado. Uh, I know that avocados aren't from California originally. I mean, they're originally from Mexico or South Central Mexico, but there was a lot of people that brought some of those seeds up, and because California has the soil for it, it actually turned out to be one of their biggest crops. So any avocados you usually will come from California, and Haas avocados. That was actually a dude. That was a guy that wound up basically cashing in on that whole entire thing because it could basically trace the lineage from the Haas avocado.
Oh, wow.
So it's really crazy to think about that. But Yeah, man. There's a lot of things that you can do with avocados. And obviously the one big thing that we hear all the time, especially when it comes to like the millennials, is you got to have the avocado toast. Spending too much money on avocado toast, right?
So, oh god, I'm gonna get shit for this. A couple of years ago, the wife was doing avocado toast, right? And she'd be like, "Hey, we need to buy avocados." And finally, I was like, "I ain't buying no fucking avocados because you don't eat enough goddamn toast to go with those fucking avocados."
I mean, you could put them over your omelets. You could put them. I feel like
Yeah,
there's a lot of things that you
why
can do.
would I ruin a good omelet that way?
Yeah, but with toast though, like I feel like you could buy the avocados and put them on other things besides just toast.
If
Hell,
you
make
like avocado,
guacamole. Make guacamole, man.
I don't know. Here's my thing: like, if I'm doing an omelet, I'm doing a man's omelet. Okay, we're
No,
talking
you're not gonna do
what?
a California omelet that has a little bit
No,
of
no.
salsa, some salsa verde.
Yeah, what the fuck goes into California omelet? Vegetables and only vegetables? Do you even use real egg anymore, or do you use like fake egg?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, see,
I haven't gotten a California omelet ever. I always usually get like the meat lovers omelet.
thank you. And this is where we're at. Why the hell would I put avocado on my meat lover's omelet? I wouldn't.
But I feel like avocados do have other versatile things that you can throw that on. I mean, burritos, sure, let's do that,
I'll give
right?
you that
Fish,
one.
fish tacos,
Fish
deal.
tacos, okay, I'll give you that one, but
We're on
not
that one. You
omelets.
can keep the omelet. Keep the omelet then. Just put it on toast, like your wife said.
Yeah, yeah. You know how I knew that wasn't a good idea? Because she tried to get me to eat it and she couldn't even ask me to eat it with a straight face. I was like, no,
That's funny.
you don't like it. I know I won't.
Uh, I did find out though that those seeds that avocados have in the middle, those aren't things that you would plant though.
There's a way to plant them, it's just hard.
Do you know how they would be planted?
So,
Because
what you do actually, because yes, I do, believe it or not, houseplants is kind of one of the things I'm into. You take like a glass and you kind of fill it like half to three quarters fill with water, and then you take toothpicks and insert them into the avocado to make it stand up, and then eventually the avocado cracks open and will start to root in the bottom of that glass, and then after a couple of weeks of the roots establishing, you can finally move your avocado and actually plant it, provided you have the soil for that.
well, that's freaking crazy. So then, does it sprout as a pod, or does it sprout as like a? How does that go after that? Then you plant it.
I'm not one who would do this. This is just something that I've seen done a lot. So I
Yeah.
don't know what the next process is for that. But I know it can be done. There are ways.
Oh, see, I always thought the basically the nut in the middle or the seed in the middle wasn't for an avocado, but shit, I guess I was proven wrong on that one.
I know it comes from there. So
So one of the other things that's definitely really popular in California, In-N-Out Burger. California, it started in California. Now there's other states that have it. I know Texas has it.
look, I don't know if maybe I just don't like California or if California just got a but Whataburger, hands down, better than In-N-Out.
I don't know, man. I think In-N-Out's fries are way better, to be honest with you.
I said burger. I didn't say fries.
True. Yeah, I mean, we'll get to Whataburger in another episode. But essentially, In-N-Out Burger. I mean, you obviously have had it. So, what are your thoughts on why it's not the best one? Because I feel like it's a little bit better than McDonald's or even Burger King.
Yeah, but that's not an up by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, your standards are pretty low if you're going into that, right? You've
Yeah,
already made the decision
like
that
if
you're
you
gonna.
think your 5 class meal, you know, a Big Mac or a Whopper, like bro, I got some, you know, it's like
Well, when you went in though, did you? How did you order? Or did you order just a plain burger or what?
keep in mind, I'm going back like 6 years on this because I've been in the area that I'm living in now for like 6 years. So it's been a hot minute, but I want to say I just got like a plain burger and I wasn't that impressed. Now, in In-N-Out's defense, because we've all had these situations, it could be on the worker's end. Maybe the worker I cared for was about to quit that shift and just didn't give a fuck.
Spit on your food.
Because, like, I know there's times where I've gone to the Golden Arches for the morning to get, like, you know, a coffee and just say, like, an egg burrito or something. And then, like, that whole vibe and the attitude that I get from the drive through makes me never want to have that McDonald's again. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Um,
Now, are you a proficient at In-N-Out Burger? Like, is this something that,
uh, no. So I've been to it a couple times. I mean, the couple times I was in California. There's been a couple times in Texas where I've gone. Um, there's no the closest one to me I think is like 3 hours or it might be 2.5, something like that. So Whataburger is a little bit. I mean, it's everywhere.
yeah,
Um, but so I am not an aficionado of it when it comes to the burgers. But I did get it. I got mine animal style, which is essentially you get the grilled onions, you get the sauce that gets put on it, and you can do lettuce, tomato, and everything. And I usually get a double double, which is the two patties. Um, so I mean, I wasn't. It's not like I was super impressed by it, and being like, oh man, I gotta have In and Out. And people listening to this will probably be like, oh, this is bullshit because In and Out is probably the best. And I think that's a little pretentious, but it's still fast food.
yeah.
You know, like Five Guys. I mean, it's still fast food. The burgers are okay, but it's still greasy as shit.
I would say Five Guys is up there in terms of burgers, though.
Yeah, when you're looking at the quality, you know,
Yeah.
it's not like McDonald's where you have the patty that's frozen. You know, they certainly have the quality, and I think In and Out it's the same way. They have it's not frozen, you know, but um, I do have to admit though that their fries are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because they hand chop those bad boys in the machine and then they wind up soaking them, how they get them crispier, but whatever it is, they do a pretty damn good job of just of the fries.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, it's not like it's a restaurant, you know. I mean, it is, but it's like it's a fast food restaurant because you're still getting everything within 5 minutes. You know, it's not like I sit down. I'm gonna have a half-pound burger with a side of fries with all the other stuff that might be
Let me
fancy.
let me jump in with an LA here because I think I got the analogy for this, right?
All right.
Okay. People who love In-N-Out Burger make it feel as if it's though the Red Robin of fast food burgers, and it's not.
Yeah, there you go. That's a pretty good analogy.
So
But if you go, I mean, again, it's one of those. It's a fast food joint.
yeah. Oh,
You know.
also, don't half the time I don't take my own advice. So if you want to try In-N-Out Burger, that's on you. If you don't like it, you and I can high five. If you do like it, you and I can still high five.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely understand that whole thing. I mean, there's certainly some things. You know, Five Guys, Whataburger, McDonald's, whatever. If you like it, good for you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a shot next time I get close to another one again.
What you should do is on one of our episodes, you should take a bag from In and Out and take a bag from Whataburger. I don't know if you could do that because you said In and Out's like 3 hours away from you.
Yeah.
So we'd have to set up like a remote recording session where you could taste test blindly both of them.
Yeah, but the thing is though, is that I already know the difference between the two because Whataburger is way bigger.
It's true.
I mean, it even says so in their menu. Like, here's the circle. This is the size of the burger you're getting. Whereas In and Out or even McDonald's or Five Guys, I mean, the patties are smaller, the bun's not as big. Like I would pick it up and go, oh, this is automatically Whataburger, or oh, this is automatically In and Out. So now I shouldn't maybe do a blind taste test. Maybe just do a taste test with both of them right in front of me.
Or since you can feel it with your hands, right?
Yeah, just eat with my mouth. Just go. Ah.
Yeah. Have a bystander feed it to you. Just like, hey, don't do this. Don't take this advice. Find somebody on the street, tell them to blindfold you, and then feed you cheeseburgers.
I feel like that can go
Very badly.
ways.
That's why I said don't take that advice.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be waking up in a hotel room with ice on my side, you know.
Waking up, like not Final Destination, Urban Legend style. Wake up in a bathtub full of ice.
Yep.
Yep.
But do you know that California has a big Asian influence too?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of Chinese restaurants, and not like the Chinese that we think of. You know, when you get General Tso's or any of those other bastardized Chinese menus, which, hey, I'll still eat them. They're still pretty damn good. But there's a lot of traditional Chinese restaurants and Chinese influence, at least in San Francisco. Not so much San Diego, but LA, those other ones, Los Angeles, not the safe word, because there was a lot of immigrants that came that way. So getting the traditional Chinese experience going out to California, which surprisingly enough, you would think Southern California, okay, I can see Mexico, I can see that kind of, salsa, things like that. But yeah, actually getting authentic Chinese cuisine is a pretty cool thing to do. So again, it's not the same stuff that you'd get at your local Chinese place. That's definitely been westernized, or easternized, depending on where you're looking at it.
That's crazy. So, would you know then, based on that, what would be the go-to dish to try Chinese food wise that way?
Oh man, what the hell is it? It's like, man, chow bang. I think it's with an
Okay.
X. It's basically like a spicy chicken.
Okay.
So and usually the rice is going to be your white rice. You're not going to have fried rice. But you'll have duck is another one.
Yep.
You'll usually see those hanging out in the windows there. But yeah, it's actually something different, which I don't think a lot of people would probably necessarily like, because when you think you have regular Chinese food and then you go get the traditional food, people are like, wait, this ain't it.
Right.
So you'd have to go in with like, all right, here's going to be an open fist on this one. Let me see if I actually enjoy the flavors.
I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, why not? I mean, what's the worst that could happen? You say, no, I don't like that. I'll find something else.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be. Not that we've tried it, but we talked about it, and it had some pretty jarring reviews. But it can't be as bad as Muktuk.
Oh my God.
So,
Although, you know what the difference is between what you will and what you won't eat, right?
$20.
Or 24 hours, one of the two.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was really hungry and starving, I would freaking do the muktuk. Hopefully I keep it in, but I'd probably throw it up.
Yeah. Yeah, that didn't sound very good when we were looking at that.
Um, there's plenty of other foods that are out there too. Obviously, for the people, if you comment on some of those, we can maybe look into another food. But I just feel like, again, Texas is so big, or California is so big that there's plenty of other things. But I definitely want to chat about some dessert.
Oh yeah.
And one of the ones that I found, which is, it originally was not made in California, but it has been a California staple, is a maple bar.
Okay.
So it's actually a donut. So we both know donuts are freaking awesome,
Mhm.
right? So a maple bar is basically, uh, you take a like an eclair almost. You know how it's square like that, like an eclair, and essentially you put it in that rectangle shape. You throw it into with some maple glaze. Now you can either fill it with cream or custard, or you can leave it unfilled. It's
Oh,
up to preference. So and then it almost looks like a maple eclair essentially.
I would give that a shot because I love maple. I love the filled sticks, and I also love eclairs.
So there's I think you would like this variation because there's a lot of variations you can throw with it. You can top it with nuts or you can top it with other things, but bacon is one of the big things that you can top. And obviously maple syrup, maple anything, and bacon go hand in hand.
Yep.
So um, next time you're out of California, or even hell, you could probably even find a maple donut wherever you're at.
So I think I'm gonna take the wheel over here on some desserts for a little
All
bit.
right, throw some desserts at us.
All right. So if you're in Southern California and you are in the Long Beach area, there's something called a Milky Bun.
All right.
And it's gonna look like this odd color hot dog or panini, but essentially your buns are a glazed donut. That's where the term Milky Bun comes in, right? Then you put your ice cream and toppings in the middle of this, and you kind of have an ice cream sandwich that is in between a donut. Next, we're going to go to this place called Chemistry in Irvine, California. And what's cool about this place is they actually take liquid nitrogen machines to whip up fresh ice cream. So you're going to watch it go from liquid to ice cream just pretty much in front of your face.
Oh man, that's got to be super fun to watch though.
Yeah.
I
So it's
mean,
like a mix of dessert and chemistry right in front of you. And it looks like good ice cream. So I would definitely be trying this one.
I
And then,
mean, imagine having that liquid nitrogen just poured into that as it's being whipped up,
mhm,
and then the smoke just clears, and you're like, here's your ice cream. Here you go.
right. And then we're going to finish a little bit of sweet and savory. And you can find this at Pizza 90 in Riverside, California. And this is a Nutella calzone. And it's exactly what you would think it was. It is a calzone stuffed with Nutella. It looks like it's got some chocolate drizzle on top of that, and then dusted in powdered sugar. Make it look like some Scarface was in there.
That sounds really damn good.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
like, if you've had like Nutella based crepes before, I can kind of imagine that. But like, when I think of a calzone, I think of that nice, flaky, and like almost salty crust to it.
oh yeah,
And so that'd be something I would definitely have to try.
there
And
was
then
one that
apparently, I was wrong. I got one more for you. Another Southern California favorite is home of Dad's Original Banana in Newport Beach. And
is this where you dip bananas in and get like chocolate dip bananas and shit?
yep, it says nothing symbolizes Southern California summer like a chocolate dip banana from Dad's.
There's always
So,
money in the banana stand, right?
yep. So,
That's interesting. I would definitely eat those, and I see that they've had other ones too. So you don't have chocolate; they usually have vanilla, or they'll have other flavors that you can dip them in. I've seen something with blue. I don't know what the hell it was, but they dipped the whole thing in a blue chocolate.
ooh,
So who knows what that one is? But I think the flavors and everything would be pretty good.
mm-hmm.
Now, California obviously is one of the citrus capitals, right? I mean, peaches, Florida oranges, but California gets a whole bunch of them too. Um, there's a lemonade ice pop that is made
Ooh,
pretty popular in Lake Tahoe. And essentially, they squeeze fresh squeezed lemonades and they make it into an ice pop. So this has been
oh,
going on since 1920. And it's an easy thing to do, right? If you have a bunch of lemonades, you could probably do the orangeade, or you can even do a limeade, I'm sure.
yeah, that sounds good already.
So up in Lake Tahoe, that's where you can get your big one. Now I'm sure you can get it somewhere else, but that's basically where it started. And then the other one that I found, and I think this would be pretty cool to try, is a cruffin.
What's the cruffin, bud?
The cruffin is a croissant and a muffin that they put together, and it's a pastry that's made by proofing. So essentially, they bake laminated dough into a muffin mold, and then it's filled with a bunch of different stuff. So a lot of times you can do curds, you can do ice cream, you can do jams, creams, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it looks pretty cool because it's hollowed out in the middle, and it's got the swirls and how it's made from the croissant part of that. Um, and again, this was actually made in Australia, but it wasn't popularized until it came over to San Francisco, and it's been a trademark thing at the Mr. Holmes Bakehouse in San Francisco.
Mm.
So obviously, there's a lot of variations around that in the world, but um, man, I think I would probably put, maybe like either a chocolate ice cream in it, or maybe like a not a lemon custard, although I could probably see that. I'm just not a big fan of lemon dessert style. Like the lemonade and everything, I could totally drink. That's fine, but just the lemon, a lemon key lime pie or anything like that is not my favorite.
That's fair.
So
It's
I
okay to be wrong.
yeah, well, I like other chocolate stuff.
That's fair.
Um, but I would probably put like a chocolate custard or something into it, or like the Bavarian cream.
Mm.
So I think that's where I would go with my cruffin if I happen to ever get a chance to to have one of those things. So
Cruffin. That's just a fun word to say.
I know, right? You should tell your wife that you want some cruffins and see what she says.
She'll probably tell me no. Anybody who's been married long enough gets that joke.
Either that or she'd be like, "What the hell's a cruffin? Is that one of those sex things you're talking about?
Is that one of them sex things?
Is that what those kids are talking about these days? Is the cruffin?"
So, I think on that note, I don't know. I don't have anything else to add about Southern California.
Well, just California in general, no. But I do think that we will have a second parter to this because we have left out a pretty good portion of it when it came to alcohol and with Napa and everything. So I think our listeners are going to have to wait until part 2 of this.
Mm-hmm. Which
So
should air the week after this episode, depending on how timelines work out.
yeah, well, we'll figure it out. They
Right.
don't need to know the background stuff.
It'll be okay. When we
Well,
get big enough, we'll make a Patreon for that.
see what happens behind the scenes.
Or is it an OnlyFans? I'm not sure anymore.
Yeah, who cares? We'll do both of them. We can sit around in our underwear and be like, look, here it is.
Yeah, here it is. So,
So,
well, foodies, it's been a hell of a time. I know I don't like California that much for my own reasons, but I tried to stick in there with you for this episode. Um, but hopefully, once we get past California, we go on to another state that I think both the professor and I are both excited to get into.
there's a few of them.
Yep.
So,
but I've been the Meat Viking. It's been an honor to host this with you, my wonderful co-host.
Professor Porkloin, and we are signing off.
Signing off. Thank you, everybody.